Is the Minister for Communications. Can the Minister advise the Senate why media reform is an important part of the government's economic plan?
The Minister for Communications and the Arts, Senator Fifield.
Thanks, Mr President, and can I thank Senator Smith for his question and also acknowledge his expertise in this area. He's someone from his former professional experience who understands that the lines are ever blurred between carriage providers, content providers and media organisations. And I think, as all colleagues should know, media reform is important because it's part of managing a transitioning economy. Mr President, one of the issues with the media laws that we currently have is that those which govern what are sometimes called traditional media platforms, or as those media organisations prefer to be known as media organisations of long standing, they were crafted in the year 1987, which, as Senator Smith would know and Senator Payne would know, and I think Senator Conroy would know, was the year that New Order released their landmark album Substance on both vinyl and CD. It isn't actually, to be fair, an album that formed part of the genre of tastes of the attorney. That is recognised, but I think that cultural reference indicates just how out of date our media laws are. Mr President, the media laws that we have and that this government is looking to remove are sensational in many respects, apart from the fact that they do not recognise the fact that the internet exists. That's a small problem. They cater for newspapers, commercial radio and commercial TV, but the internet isn't something that was contemplated by the drafters of the law at that time, which is why we're looking to remove the reach rule and the 2 out of 3 rule.
Thank you, Minister. Supplementary question, Senator Smith.
Thank you, Mr President. Can the Minister update the Senate on responses to the government's media reform bill?
Minister.
Thanks, Mr President, and I can indeed cite some responses from media organisations about our proposed media reforms which had, as the Prime Minister has referenced on a number of occasions, been kicked into the long grass for too long. For example, Ian Audsley, the CEO of the Prime Media Group, told the Senate inquiry recently that the bill is a very positive first step in media reform which is needed in a rapidly changing media environment. Without the ability to unleash ourselves from the regulations and to organise ourselves in a more efficient manner, that is, consolidate, our future will be one of struggle. And the editor of Ad News, Rosie Baker, wrote that without reform, Australian media's industry can only slow down and go backwards. If we continue to stall until we find a perfect solution that addresses every element for every media player, no progress will be made at all and everyone stands to lose.
Thank you, Minister. Senator Smith, final supplementary question.
Can the Minister explain why the abolition of the 2 out of 3 rule is so important?
Minister.
Thanks, Mr President. As I indicated, the 2 out of 3 rule is one element that we're looking to remove from Australia's media rule. Principally, the issue here, as I referenced before, is that it doesn't recognise that the internet exists. We've got to enable media organisations to configure themselves in the way that best suits them. We also are keen to get rid of the 75% audience reach rule, which I know those opposite support, but it would be tremendous. It would be tremendous if the Parliament could see its way to removing both of those rules, if it could see them as a package. And can I again acknowledge Senator Smith, Mr President, who is someone who isn't just looking at this reform, he's someone who is always looking over the horizon at what are the next reforms that need to be undertaken in Australia's media law.
Thank you, Minister. Senator Moore.
Thank